Last time on the Minus 20 podcast, our heroes follow the baker, Joald Jakobsen, through a secret door into the sewers. Jakobsen reveals he knows a safe place there, but he needs their help. Strange creatures block the way. They find weird purple cocoons hanging from the wall. One bursts open, and a blue lion-like monster with tentacles for hair emerges. It attacks.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Minus 20 podcast. You probably know that, hopefully by now you've been listening for the previous 3 episodes. My name is Jay, I'm your game master. I'm here with...
James playing Bo Pancho.
Holly playing Serafina.
Diana playing Kira.
Nate playing Shepard.
And Marth, brought to you by John.
Woohoo! Let's get back into our game, right? Last we left off, you guys were following your favorite... Gosh, it's so terrible. I feel like I wanted to make you guys angry at the Axis for getting at this one particular guy, but I didn't know it was all of your favorite restaurant as well, which is a big bummer to lose your favorite restaurant, especially in a fire. So you're following your favorite restaurateur, Joald Jakobsen, down to the sewers. He's hinting at a kind of hideout he has where he can take you. He also noted to you that there are some strange creatures nearby and wanted for you to help get past them. You fought some rats, but now as you're approaching the hideout, you said it's just ahead. There were these strange cocoons hanging on the wall next to you, and out of one popped a creature, as Dinah said, looks like, what is the body of would you say a dog? Or
Like a gargoyle or something, or
like a blue lion creature, but instead of hair, it's got tentacles and yellow eyes, and it is growling at you guys in a very odd way. I'm going to have us all, of course, roll initiative as this creature is going to attack you.
And as cute as this is, we're sure it's being aggressive, because I'm just saying...
I mean, it could come up and start purring and like rub against us. That'd be fine.
Yeah, you could absolutely wait and see what it does.
It's like a blue goo doggo.
Serafina got a 21.
Nice.
Shepard is going fast.
28
Crit
for
on the
Shep.
initiative roll.
What about
Marth is not. He got a 13.
That's not bad compared to unnamed gunslinger.
Numbers got a good old 7.
All right, so let's get things started. Shepard, this creature is clearly aggressive and malicious, so we're going to nip that attempt at diplomacy in the bud.
All right. Well, I see that between the two of us, there's a 10-foot gap and a channel here.
Yep.
I assume that wouldn't be something that I would be able to leap and get all the way over to.
You could do running jump. I don't believe you would need to make an athletics check. I think that's close enough, but you would have to spend an action to get over it.
Would I be able to roll that into sudden charge to do the 2 strides? Or would that be all 3 actions?
Let's see. I would allow you... what the heck? Yes, I would allow you to roll that into your sudden charge. You're supposed to stride twice, but I think if you have a leap in there, that would be fine. So the rule for doing a leap is you can jump up to 10 feet horizontally if your speed is 15 feet. So that's fine.
Excellent. That'll give me more than enough time to get all the way over there.
Yep.
So Shep will charge forward. He's actually going to land on the right side of this block of 3. Yeah, I have enough movement to get up against the wall. Keep myself at least one side against flanking here. Now, Shepard's going to put 2 and 2 together and see that one of these creatures burst out of their cocoon, snarling and angry. Can he make an attack against one of these cocoons?
He's going to try to attack one of the other ones, yeah?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's considered in D&D incapacitated in any way or blind to me because it's inside of a cocoon. Do I get any sort of advantages for hitting it?
No, you can go ahead and just give a normal attack. So typically in Pathfinder, objects have hardness and a broken threshold. This is similar to a shield. I don't know if you're familiar with shield rules.
Yep.
So the hardness is similar to resistance. It reduces the damage done by the number of hardness. If it's hardness 10, it reduces damages by 10. And whatever's left over gets applied to the hit points of the thing. And when it reaches a certain point, it's considered broken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you can attempt to do that. You can attempt to hit it.
Do I recall the material that Kira had picked up?
Kira, did you share that shard with anybody else, or did you tuck it into your pocket?
I probably would have thought it was insignificant, but I did just drop it on the ground.
So you probably not even seen it.
Yeah, that's okay. You'll make the attack against this cocoon.
That's a hit. 26.
Excellent. And roll some damage.
10 points of damage. You slam this thing with your sword, and a little chunk falls off.
Sure. And then with his last action and second attack, seeing that this was a little less effective and still recalling that the torch happened to be awfully handy against some rats, maybe this thing is flammable. So he will strike it with his torch.
All right.
And attempt to light it.
That is also hit. Go ahead and roll damage. 7 points of damage. The cocoon seems completely unaffected. As the fire strikes it, however, you see the cocoon, where it was moving before, sort of throb and continue to move. You think that the fire actually it sort of liked it or seemed to activate it quicker.
Okay. That's my turn.
All right. Seraphina.
Okay. I am going to first. I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to try to attempt to recall knowledge.
Right. That's an occultism check, please.
I am not trained in occultism.
Okay.
So.
An applicable lore, which I don't think yours was applicable.
No, boneyard. All right. I will. I'm going to move up here a little bit closer, and I'm going to cast Bless.
All right.
I will throw that in the chat.
All right.
So that
is an
circle,
emanation.
yeah.
15-foot emanation, yeah.
So I'm not quite close enough for. Can I retcon that and just say I have 5 more feet so that I can
Sure.
get Shepherd? Great.
This, you're not going to be able to reach Shepherd across this.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll stay where I am.
Unless you jump in the water, which you can do if you want.
No. Thank you. That's raw sewage.
You can reach me next turn if you expand the aura.
Would you count Marth as in this circle?
Yeah, it looks like you're not in that circle area.
But Arya is.
Arya, it definitely is. All right, it is this wayward aberration's turn. Definitely wayward, just hanging out in the sewer. It comes rushing over with its first action and comes up to Shepherd and attempts to bite him with these vicious-looking jaws. That is a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's a crit for sure.
It is a critical hit. Oh boy, this is bad. You take 18 points of damage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's most of my health.
I need you to make me also a fortitude save.
Can I use my hero point to reroll that one?
Yes. You know what? I totally forgot to award a hero point as well. I would like to award the extra one to John for playing Marth and Arya last ep.
Oh, I'll take it.
Okay.
Much better.
26 is a success. You are unaffected. You felt as it bit you, these sharpened tendrils around its head try to poke at your abdomen, but you managed to brush them off. Kira, you're up.
I'd like to recall knowledge for my first action.
All right, give me a secret occultism check. You have no idea what these creatures are. They look totally alien to
They
you.
are super alien. Okay. For my second action, I'm going to draw my short bow.
All right.
And I'm going to I'm going to devise a stratagem, might as well.
All right, go ahead and do that for your third action. See if that's a good.
Okay.
So that was 11 total roll.
I'm going to use a hero point.
Okay.
So I forgot I had it. Can I do that for devise a stratagem?
Yeah. So devise a stratagem is was this the devise a stratagem roll? Or did you roll the short bow? So this is plus your so you rolled a 3 on the die for an 11.
So when I attack with my short bow, I can change the modifier to do intelligence, which is what devise stratagem gives me. So that would have been so I can use the hero point to roll
I
that?
would say yes, you can. I was just curious to try to understand the roll.
Yeah.
15.
I'm going to use it as an attack and try to hit it.
All right. Unfortunately, the arrow misses. It bounces off its skin. It was the angle was wrong, and it moved at the last second. And what was strike before just angled enough.
I usually hit those.
Marth.
All right. First off, Arya is going to move. If I can click on. All right. Now, if I was here in the water, would I still be flanking, or is it because it's kind of down, I would lose that benefit?
No, you'd be flanking, but let me ask you this. Does Arya fly?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, it seems, that's one of those, like, the actual rules of a game versus, like, the story of a game,
Yeah.
the Phantom you would think would be able to float, but I'm pretty sure that as the rules go, she is earthbound.
Okay. In this case, well, you know what? I was gonna say I'm gonna require her to swim. It would take 2 actions to get there, but probably she could just leap at the end of the move into the water, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I will do is require a swim check.
Okay.
Just to stay afloat. It's not going to cost an action or anything. It's just a pretty bold move, right? Where you jump in the water. And I think if she doesn't recover quickly enough, she won't be able to. She'll have to swim back up too.
Gotcha.
Okay. So basically, I just need a flat up athletics check. It's going to be easy. It's a DC 10.
Have you met my rolls outside of my very first one?
Yeah, you're going to.
Don't get used to that,
like
people. That'll never happen.
This is the new John. Well,
what did I say? What did I say? For
said the
those
quiet part
listening,
out
that
loud.
would be a rolled 1 for a total of 3.
Okay.
I, though, have 2 hero points.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use one of them.
All right.
And I rolled it blind.
That's fine. It was a 13, which is a success.
Okay.
All right. So you leap into the water. Arya manages to stay afloat enough. That said, when you're in the water, you are off guard. So she is off guard, but she can make an attack as usual. It's kind of weird. Let's just do it. I could assign more penalties and stuff, but because this was kind of a bold action, I'm going to forego all that. And to your point, this is a floating phantom. So go ahead and make a normal attack. You are flanking with Shepard.
Right. Now, before I do that part of it, Marth will use his part of the action to boost her.
Okay.
What does boosting your Eidolon do?
What my boosting my Eidolon does is it gives her a +2 to her damage rolls.
All right.
Nice.
Boost Eidolon here on the token.
All right, now we'll have Arya take her swing.
That's a hit.
Hooray!
21 hits.
All right,
Roll some damage.
6.
Hey, that's not bad. This is level 1, remember? We're not high level yet. You take a big chunk out of this creature.
I might not get to high level.
And this is a punch, right? Arya's, we should,
So it's an unarmed. It is her fist, but it's a slashing.
Okay.
So I imagine that those phantom fingers are pretty claw-like coming through.
So yeah, she takes a swipe at this creature, and you see 5 parallel rows suddenly materialize on the side, on its flank. It screeches with pain. All right, we got, last but not least in the turn, got an unnamed.
How high is the ceilings in this place?
Oh boy, probably not too high. I'll say 15 feet.
Okay, just outside. All right, so in that case,
Yeah, these are narrow, low-ceiling tunnels, like utility tunnels, basically.
all right. I'll
That's intriguing. Like, what could you do with high ceilings?
well with low ceiling. If it was like at 10 feet, I could use my vines to crawl or climb across with
Okay.
without using even the hand.
Okay,
It's part of the
I'll let
vine.
you do it.
Okay. Then yeah, I would
Yeah.
do a climbing check real quick.
It's a question every low level DM running a low level campaign hates to hear.
What? How high?
Yeah, how high is it? Right?
No,
What do you
it's-
mean? You could fly?
yeah. The really low.
There goes all the balance.
Yeah. 21 climb check.
Yep.
Is enough. Sure.
And anytime that I am climbing and I pass, I critically success.
Okay, so what is that? 15 feet of movement, I believe. Let me check the rule. I think it is. I think on a critical success, you gain an extra 5 feet. So I would say we'll say 15 feet.
Yeah, so narratively speaking, yeah, you see a number of vines just kind of shoot out of my back and just shoot up into the ceiling of this place. And I crawl while still kind of holding my gun out to shoot. And yeah, I will fire off with my second action shot at Squid Puppy,
Squid Puppy.
which now makes me sad. 25 to hit.
Is a hit. 10 points of damage, yeah. It drops dead at the floor at Shepard's feet.
And then I will drop to the ground and kind of position myself over by Shepard here with a stride action, just so if anything pops up, I can try to impose myself a little bit.
Shepard, you're up.
And I'll say, dude, you do not look... sorry, let me do the voice. You do not look well. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of running away from the fight, but I am covered in blood and badly battered. I'll take a couple of swings before I leave here. First one I'm going to go ahead and drop my my torch
Okay.
with the feet of this creature, and I will make a snagging strike against it. It is 24 to hit.
That's a hit.
5 damage.
That doesn't seem to affect the cocoon at all. Your sword bounced harmlessly off.
And with my last 2 actions, he will dash back across the gap, jumping over the slowly moving trench of sludge between him and his allies. And then I guess the last action would be to stow his greatsword and be prepared to pull out a sling next turn.
All right. The cocoon on the left cracks and another creature falls out. I'm going to say its first action is used to come out, and then I'm going to also tuck this second creature away off the map. And it comes down here with its second action and attacks the unnamed gunslinger with its third action. It bites into our friend. Does a 19 hit?
It does.
All right. It does 10 points of damage, and I need you to roll me a fortitude save as its tentacles probe your abdomen.
18.
18. All right. You seem fine. Serafina, you're up.
Okay, for my first action, I'm going to go ahead and sustain bless, so that should expand by 10 feet.
Yep.
And then I will cast a 2-action heal on Shepherd.
Okay.
And for a newbie like me, what does Bless do for us?
It gives you a +1 status bonus to attack rolls.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I believe that's it. So,
Yeah, better chance to hit.
That's 13 points for Shepherd.
Nice. All right, Kira, you're up.
So my first action, I'm going to move, and I'm going to try to attack with my short bow. It seems redundant. Is there ever a reason why I wouldn't use devise a stratagem? Because it seems like...
No, the point to devise a stratagem is that you can roll it, and then you can see what you might get, and you would then either say, yeah, I used that attack, or you go, actually, I'm going to recall knowledge.
Yeah, so
Or
it's worth it.
Yeah, there's
Should use it.
really no reason not to.
Okay. I just didn't know if I was being redundant. Like
No, not at all.
one trick.
Sometimes at these low levels, like the you've got 1 or 2 feats you can use, and it seems like with I'm thinking Bard especially, right? It's always inspire courage, inspire courage, inspire courage. But once you get some more feats from a higher level, you'll have more options.
And it looks like it's giving me the blast modifier right away. Does that sound right?
20.
So 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And
You gonna use that?
I am going to use that.
All right.
Whoops.
That hits. The arrow twang whistles across the gap and lands into the side of this beast. Go ahead and roll me that damage. And then you
So-
get an additional d6.
I was going to just look at that. I have that for ranged attacks as well. Strategic strike.
I believe so. So 5 points of damage. Let's say that you do.
Okay.
And go ahead and roll it.
So 4 from my regular attack and
Total of 9. That arrow sinks deep into the side of this creature.
for my last action, I'm going to continue moving. I want to get to this other side. And I'm going to kind of position myself there.
All right, Marth.
All right. Arya's going to pull herself up. There we go. And then she will take a swing at this new friend. So let's target it.
The maddening medium aberration. I guess I don't need to put I'll take the size off the description of these things.
Oh my god.
That was an 11,
Well, that's no fun.
which is a miss.
All right. Well, then, how far away are they? They're pretty far. All right, then Marth will do a needle dart.
How far away are you? What's the range of needle darts?
Needle darts, I believe, is 60. I'll double check.
It is 60 feet. Yeah.
So he rolled a 18.
18 is a hit.
Hooray!
Did you target yourself or the creature?
I probably targeted myself.
18 is still a hit. It would hit
So-
Arya as well.
Hmm.
Just, if anyone's curious. Yeah, go and roll damage. What is that?
It's a 3d4, so 10.
Points of damage.
Nice shot.
That creature falls dead.
Nice.
Is that the end of your turn?
That is everything I got.
Well, luckily for our combat narrative, the third creature pops out of its cocoon, and it will go. It spent one turn popping out. It's going to go ahead. I'm just going to roll D4 odds. It'll attack Arya. Evens, it'll attack our unnamed gunslinger. So odds, it's Arya. So here comes the attack, the bite. That's a 21 to hit.
That will indeed hit.
Okay. That does 10 points of damage. We'll take that off on Marth.
Ow.
So if you're looking probably at Marth, you can see this bite appear on his thigh and blood rain down his leg. And then for its final action, we're going to do that roll again. A 2. This time it turns towards the unnamed gunslinger and will attack it with map. That's a 14, which misses. All right, it is your turn, James.
All right. I don't like him, so but my gun's unloaded, so I will start with a clear the path and just give him a good shove while I reload.
All right, he is at a wall, so I think, well, he probably would bounce down away from him, I guess. Yeah, so give me an athletics check.
Sure.
Let's reach back. You shove him with your arms.
23.
23, that's a success. You move him 5 feet. You're welcome to take a 5-foot step to follow him if you want.
I'll stay where I am and blasty blasty.
All right. What does this sound like? It's not like a black powder gun. It doesn't
No, not at
explode.
all. And so I envision the seeds that he kind of shoots are more like rifled, so they got kind of more like a spiral head to them.
Yeah.
And the vine itself, it's more like it's kind of more like a slingshot style gun than anything, but it still has the barrel, so it's still slingshotting it to the back of the barrel and then shoots it through the front. But yeah, I will shot.
All right.
And that is a 22 to hit
22 is a hit.
for 8 damage.
8 points of damage.
And my last action, I will shoot my vines back up and try to climb above the water.
Okay. Go ahead and make me that athletics check.
Can you do?
Critical success.
Critical,
you can
double critical
Yes.
success. I am climbing without any issues.
You can move 15 feet again, so
Okay.
just the other side of this channel. As you're doing that, you guys can see the Jakobsens run down to the end of the corner. You can probably see their light. As they get to the end of the corner, you see like a blank wall. There's a flash, and then the 4 of them disappear. Go back to the top of the order. Shepard, you're up.
Manipulate action to drop bastard sword,
All right.
and then at the risk of sounding like a broken record, sudden charge.
All right. So you leap across this area and rush up to the creature.
You just run away just so you could wind up and run back at him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just showing up.
Uh,
back and forth.
Strategic retreat.
Yeah, as he pulls his sword again, he looks over and gives Seraphina a thankful old man nod. Lifesavers always. Back into the fray, jumping across, takes a slash. 25 to hit.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
This is a beloved aberration.
That's right. Everyone loves this
Oh,
one. Yeah.
come on.
It's the runt of the litter.
Mars sitting there with his leg bleeding. Yeah, he's beloved.
Sure why, but it defaulted to acid damage, so I gotta change that quick.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's not, in this particular case, it's not too special what kind of
Okay.
damage it is.
10.
10. That's enough. You kill this creature.
Woo.
Take us out of encounter mode.
Does anybody want to examine their bodies? I've never seen a creature like this before.
Yeah, if you want to.
Is there part of that cocoon lying around?
Yeah, there's shards of it on the ground.
I would pick up a handful of them, potentially for some kind of crafting later.
Shepard would rush back. He's getting really good at jumping over this sewage. When he was over on the other side by Seraphina, he noticed Marth was really banged up. So he'd rush over to Marth and take a look at his wounds.
And I would say use his vine since he's already up there just to kind of help people across.
Awesome. I Tarzan back with
Now-
our helpful
The
friend.
question
Marth
is,
is-
do you do like the
Martha's still immune to treat wounds. You can do battle medicine on him, however.
Gotcha. Can I look over to my other healing friend here and ask for aid in this?
Yeah,
Can,
absolutely.
Can she aid me?
All right, go ahead and make me a medicine check to aid. DC 15.
Blind or public?
Public is fine.
Okay.
We all know
Just
the
let
regular
it all
DCs.
hang out there.
Right, that's a success. So you can
20.
go ahead and add +1 to this roll, your medicine
Awesome. And I will forego doing risky surgery at the risk
Oh,
of
come on.
potentially.
Someday we're gonna.
I
have
could
that
knock him
risk.
out with it.
Yeah, if it fails,
you really
you
need
could
that leg?
essentially
Price
kill
to
him.
pay.
But it is a critical success.
Hey.
You tell me. He pulls out a dagger. How concerned are you?
Oh, it's all right. Oh.
So I'll just do the regular old treat wounds.
Remind us what risky surgery, you do damage at first, but you get like a bonus on your medicine check and on the healing you get.
Yeah, so
It's an automatic crit.
it's pretty cool, actually. It's 1d8 damage as you kind of dig around in the wound a little bit, but any success is considered a critical success, which is a big increase in healing dice.
But with 6 hit points left, that 1d8 is a little riskier than.
It
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, especially
Level 1, friends.
especially because it would apply the immunity to further treat wounds. So unless Seraphine is able to heal him with magic, he might be in a pretty bad state.
All right, let's go ahead and do that check. Remember, add 1 to it.
+1 circumstance.
All right, that is a failure. That's a 9 on the die.
Glad we didn't break
Got
out the knife for that.
Yeah.
Just then you see a light pop on at the end of the hallway, and Joald Jakobsen gestures to you. Come on, this is the door. Let's go.
Quickly.
Sorry, Marth.
It's fine. You've been doing this how long? I mean, never mind. Let's go.
Before we get to this part, I know, Diana, you mentioned that Kira or Penn would have liked to look at these bodies. What would you like to see? You could have done that while they were trying to treat Marth, so we can retcon that a little bit.
Yeah, I was just trying to look a little bit more at like, do they have leathery skin? Do they have any kind of like natural armor? Are the tentacles slimy, or are those made out of skin too? Just kind of storing information in case I ever cross these creatures again. I mean, it doesn't look like they have pockets or a bag, right? So I'm not looting for items, but
Yeah.
just more.
You can go ahead and roll me an occultism roll. You can do this out in the open.
21.
Okay, this is cool. So you identify these creatures. These are creatures known as Akata. How you came across this information is a mystery to me. But these are otherworldly creatures. Maybe it's the cocoon and the hardness of their shells, but you know these creatures can... Essentially, these cocoons are impermeable, like shells that they don't like. They can go through extreme cold or extreme heat because these creatures come from the depths of space and they shoot their cocoons through the endless void of the universe and travel that way through there. You also know that they sort of wrap themselves up in these cocoons when they're extremely hungry or like waiting for something. So when you touch their skin, it is very odd. It's rubbery kind of, I imagine. Probably if it feels like plastic, right? But in a world where there's no plastic, right? So imagine that, if you will.
Like those toy dinosaurs.
Yeah,
when you were a
like
kid.
yes, yeah. So hard, although in this case it's kind of normal flesh. You're able to, strike it easily enough. Very bizarre. The tentacles are probably, look sticky, but they have these little hooked barbs at the end. You're not really quite sure what that is unless you have one question to ask me. You can ask a special ability or some other bit of information.
Is it, so I get the impression they're not from here. Is it weird to find them here? Like suspiciously weird?
Yes, they're extremely rare. Like this is, maybe you read it. I imagine your brother had a comic book with one of these in it or something.
So they didn't just wander from the woods. Like it's
Right.
suspicious that they're here.
Yep.
I'm also going to pick up my arrows while I'm over there. I probably will forget to reference that every battle, but
Okay. So yeah, you go and take a look at these creatures. You remember this comic book thing from your brother's collection. You hop back over. The party's ready to go. You come down and meet Jakobsen at the end of the corridor with his torch. All right, it's right through this way. This is a bit of a trick to get in here. And he takes out a pocket mirror from his coat. The only way you can see and open the door is through this mirror. It's a bit of an illusion. Here, let me show you. And he holds up the mirror like this to the wall. For those of you who are listening, I'm holding an imaginary mirror in front of my face and looking in it over my shoulder in it. And then he turns with his hand behind him. He sort of reaches on the wall, turns an invisible door knob and then opens a door on the wall. It's a mirror door. Here, you try. And he hands the mirror to Kira.
So I try to mimic him. I point the mirror behind me over my shoulder, and I'm looking at it similar to like a car's side mirror.
Yeah.
Trying to find the handle.
So you do that and you see clearly the outline, like a door is right there. And you turn around, you're like, whoa. You turn around and it's gone, but you can only see it through the mirror. So then you reach around and try to get the doorknob. Roll me a thievery check.
Ooh.
Shep has so many questions about how
I got an 8.
tavern owner came across this.
Well,
he's a baker.
I might as well use my hero point.
Sure. Yeah, we're going to, just a reminder, we're refreshing the hero points next session.
Sorry, I just gave myself a bunch of them. Okay, I'll re-roll here. Oh, slightly better, 13.
Yeah, that's enough. You needed 12. So you reach behind you, fumble around. First, you're like, you go left instead of right. You know how like when you're looking in a mirror, and then you like, it's like watching someone else's arm go, and you like, and you get to it, and you feel the doorknob, and you pull it open, and behind you, you see this area, and he says, "All right, come on in."
Shepard waits before going the door, just in case a whole bunch of bats fly out of this place.
You look around, and it's pretty incredible. From the map doesn't really do it justice. There's a bunch of rugs thrown on the floor. There's one corner, there's like a little stove, a little coal stove with some benches pulled around it. In another corner, there's like a little setup with soft chairs and couches. There's a bed, and there's like a little bathroom area with wash basin and latrine. The interesting thing that probably catches your attention immediately is there's these trophies hanging on the wall. And you can see on the floor here, there's some pelts of exotic creatures, tiger, bear, that kind of thing. There's similar like heads of, antelope and maybe a moose, which you guys probably wouldn't recognize, but some bizarre creatures. But what really catches your eye are these colorful, almost like outfits, like jumpsuits, like rhinestone bedecked, very colorful capes spread out. And then on shelves, there are these golden cups, and, a belt with a big, like, golden belt buckle.
Like doomsday prepping in Vegas.
Kind of. Well, it's something I never really talk about, but these are from my days when I was a pit fighter back in Tillardon. That's how I earned the cash to open the bakery. And Esmeralda's, puts her hand on his shoulder, I just, it's a rough life. I made some enemies. I kind of put it behind me, but, I kind of found this place and put up the trophies here. Just a place I could come to and, reminisce about the good old days.
Pardon, it seems strange that you would risk your livelihood over one gold piece when you have so much wealth at your disposal.
Oh, I'm not sure much of this is worth anything. Some of it, sure. Some of it has some magic properties, but I don't know. Sometimes you just got to make a stand, you know what I mean? Even though it's not maybe in your best interest. But you guys know that. You did it. But I don't know. This is mostly sentimental memories more than things of value. You probably couldn't find too much for it. Well, there's this one cup that you guys can have. I think, this is the fight with Boxy McGubbins. Yeah, they gave me a real gold cup for this one. But the rest of it's just gold plated. You probably melt it all down. You might get a few copper for it. But what I can give you is this place. If you want, you certainly can stay here as long as you want tonight till it's safe and go back. But, if you find things get rough or you have need to hide away for a while, you can have this place. This is yours.
Is there perhaps an easier way of getting here that doesn't require fighting off otherworldly beasts?
Well, if I were the GM of this game, what I would say is, once you've cleared it, you're good. And we can just hand wave getting down here each time. You can just be here if you wanted.
Oh, so that was a rare occurrence. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely rare. Once in a campaign type occurrence, I would say. Maybe, who knows? Maybe there'll be an ambush or something later on when it's time. But right now, you're totally safe. Yeah. This is your secret lair, if you want. I don't know, in case, that's what I call it. So,
hey guys, we got a clubhouse. I guess that makes us a club.
Does it open with just any mirror, or do you need that specific mirror?
Any mirror will work, but I wouldn't recommend bringing one of those big jobbies you hang in your hall. I'd take a pocket mirror.
That makes sense.
The Mirror Club. That's us.
Anyways, come have a seat. I think Esmeralda brought some bread and honey cakes from the bakery. We can have a little snack and some tea by the stove and talk things over if you want.
Generosity knows no bounds.
So he'll like point at different items and stuff. Oh yeah, that cape, I wore that against Henry Balthazar. That was a good fight. Oh man, he had a wicked upper left hook. And then he'll go and explain a lot of these things, and he'll actually there's a couple of I'm going to reveal this chest in the middle. There are some items that you guys can have. First of all, he's got all the leather armor that you want. So, but it's brightly colored, painted. These are wrestler outfits, but considered leather armor. So if you want to take one of these, you can, and you can also bedeck them any way you want. If you want to, wear a colorful outfit when you're out and about in this campaign. Additionally, you have what's called Joald's rhinestone cape, which is a magic item. It's this rhinestone bedecked cape that's pinned in the front with a rhinestone skull. And if you leap or high jump or long jump, afterwards you get a +1 bonus to any stealth check that you make. And then there's also something called a ring of discretion, which you guys might all want one of this at some point. Basically, this conceals any armor and sheathed weapons you're carrying on yourself. It's illusionary. It creates an illusion that you're unarmed. So you could go around in public wearing a full plate armor and a sword if you wanted. No one would notice.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. You also
Shepard,
have,
I think that's your ring.
you also have a jade cat, which is a consumable. If you use it, I think you affix it to armor and you activate it. I think it's a free action. You can make falls. Like if you fall, you can fall shorter, like basically fall unharmed. So if you're maybe, I don't know, scuttling around on a roof somewhere and trip and fall, you're good to go. And then he gives you this trophy, the gold one he won against, I think it was McGubbins, I said, worth 10 gold pieces. You can have that and cash it in. In addition, he's got a couple minor healing potions in here. So yes, you can have all of this if you want. I've got no use for it. You can have all these. I don't know what you'd use this armor for, but it's yours. You got this place. We're going to be off in the morning. I do have got a hat of disguise I'm going to take for myself, if you don't mind, and use that to slip down to the docks in the morning. But the rest of it is yours. Sorry to have let you down, Shep. I know you wouldn't run in my position, but I've been doing this a long time. Been fighting a long time. I just want a little peace. I hope you don't mind.
No offense taken, and you certainly haven't let me down. You and your family have been nothing but a bastion and refuge for the poor and downtrodden in the city. This is incredibly generous of you to not only share a bit of your history with us, but give us a place yet again to hide and heal our wounds.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, Shep. Appreciate it.
While those two are talking, Marth is going over to Esmeralda. They're like, how are you holding up? Are you okay with this?
Oh, I'm fine. It's been a long time coming. He's been complaining. I told him let's just have done with it. We've put enough work here. It's okay if we take off. It's fine. We'll be fine. We've got plenty to start again. It'd be nice to bring the kids out to the country. You know how it is. Let them run around in the grass a bit.
Bo will kind of rummage through the thing looking for a couple of masks.
Oh, yeah. What you looking for there, green guy?
Well, unlike myself, all of you have put your faces out to what could be a very dangerous group. And he ruffles to the bottom and just whatever masks he can find, he just starts throwing. Shep?
Oh, this is even better. So he's like, masks? You're looking for masks? Oh, that's not where I keep the masks. This is where I keep the masks. And he goes over to a cupboard that's locked, and he takes a little key and brings that, and he pulls it aside, and he's got like just rows of these beautiful wrestlers masks, like the Mexican wrestler
Luchador.
masks.
Luchador masks.
Luchador masks. Those are masks.
Shepard, you're a pillar of the community. Serafina, you have a shop. You can't be just having your face out in public like this. And at that point, he brings back his growth and goes down to about Poncho size.
Mr. Poncho.
Sorry, I had to cover our identities. I didn't know who was what, and technically, I don't know. Everybody kind of looks over towards our Kitsune friend.
Yes?
I'm just saying, if this is part of who we are now, we're gonna have to protect ourselves.
I mean, is this part of who we are now? Like, what is our next step?
I don't think you get the option now. You all's faces are out there.
What about you? Needs to be home soon.
Well, I mean, how many people do you think actually saw us? We dealt with the Axe members.
Yeah, but they're not gonna rest. They're not gonna stop.
I have a
Particularly
way-
with the Jakobsens leaving and 8 dead bodies. There's gonna be retribution that they're gonna take out on someone.
So
And
are
there's
you
a
guys
lot of
just gonna
people
not
on
go
that.
home?
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to go home, but I think that we may have started something, and I feel like we might have an obligation to end it.
Indeed. The community, I have wounds to treat and people to help. I can't hide down here for the rest of my life.
So, I mean, I have ways to protect my identity. I'm not worried about that. And if I'm going to wear a mask, it's going to be a lot cooler than these here. No offense, sir.
I vaguely disagree. This looks wonderful. Like,
But
if you
if-
had a grape one, I'd take it.
If we were seen already in our natural forms, I mean, are we planning to wear masks every day?
Well, the only people that would have seen us in our natural forms aren't really talking anymore.
I don't know how many people would
So-
necessarily recognize me running around with a blade and chain. I was wearing just a surgical mask, I guess. Helps keep from breathing in on people's wounds. I don't know if that was enough to keep me anonymous.
I mean, if we want to wear masks because they look impressive, I'm okay with that. I just would like to go shopping a little bit. Should we wear like matching masks?
Wearing a mask right now, I guess, is a different question.
That's a personal question.
Yes, I think it's time to start asking the personal questions. I don't know if you're aware of it, but some of us almost died not 5 minutes ago on the other side of this door.
As Marth quietly bleeds from his leg.
Yeah, some of us here need rest still.
I'm going to cast, well, not cast. I'd like to do, let me see what this is. I'm going to request that they don't ask me again about
Using a particular feat
my
to do this?
physical, yeah, nudging whisper. So I gain the effects of shameless request.
All
And
right.
I'm just going to say, essentially, you know, what you see in front of you is all you need to be worried about. You don't need to worry yourself about anything beyond what I care to show you. Please don't bring it up again.
Nudging request. What do you roll this with?
So, diplomacy?
Okay.
Can you link it?
Well, what it does is it allows, I mean, it's typically used against, I want to let you do this. It's typically used against NPCs in kind of a social encounter. And if you fail it, it doesn't, usually when you make an outrageous request to an NPC and you fail it, their, like of you goes down significantly. In this case, it doesn't affect that at all. They still think you're charming
Sure.
and cool. They're like, ha ha ha, that's a ridiculous request.
Sure.
But I just want to let you go ahead and make the roll. For other PCs, I don't think it's necessarily appropriate to do like PvP rolls
Got
in
it,
this
got
case,
it.
because they're going to still have their own what do you call it?
Opinion.
Yeah, opinions
Yeah.
and
Faculties.
faculties and own decisions on their life as real human beings playing a game.
Sure.
But I do want you to flex this and show people, your skills as an investigator. So go ahead and make the roll.
19.
That is only against one of us.
That's against you, yeah, because
So-
you're asking.
It is it would be against your will, right? Which is DC 10 plus your will save.
16.
16. So that is a success. So the request does come out as a success. How you want to interpret that as a player is up to you, right? So to you, maybe, the way that this Fox person framed it was, it's kind of reasonable, even though it's a large request or whatever.
And she's right. We all need to think that kind of way. Sorry to push on it. I'm just more what we did tonight, even though I got a pit in my gut from doing it, what they're doing to people and to businesses and to the whole ward, it ain't right.
It was one thing when everybody was just paying them and they were keeping the streets safe, but now, I mean, the way that they were beating up Mr. Jakobsen and they burned his business.
For a single
Clearly,
gold.
they are not on our side. They're in this for the money only.
Yes, but there are ways for us to push back and deal with these things in the light and talking and from the inside. And those are going to be the most important things that we do. But I agree that they're going to try and be violent. And I feel obligated after kind of starting I guess they started the violence, but that's the problem with it. It just keeps perpetuating itself. And if we don't put ourselves in the middle, and someone else is going to get hurt.
And listen, I'm willing to be an ally and help. I feel responsible in what went down tonight, but there are other people in our lives that we must consider, and we can't just, exempt them from being involved, even by association. So I just think maybe we calm down, take a day, kind of think about it, see what happens in the city, and maybe we can reconvene and talk again.
I'm all for that. If I'm saying anyone wants to walk away, by all means. Why don't we, if you're here tomorrow, same time, same channel?
Well, maybe we should just go to sleep and wake up early and talk before we leave this place.
I'm going to go over there and pass out for a while. I would appreciate it if somebody would make sure I don't bleed out.
Well, we have these healing potions here if you wanted to take
We can
one.
take care of the healing. So if you take a long rest, I would give you, assume that you guys would have time to treat wounds until all of your hit points are back up to full. No use to use the potions. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No.
Well, I will need to leave fairly early tomorrow. It's not unusual given my occupation for me to be out in the middle of the night, but I do have people I need to get back to. So can we have our meeting early in the morning?
Sure.
Yeah, I imagine the Axes will be searching our areas pretty tightly and asking a lot of questions. So if we're out of place, then they'll raise more suspicion than anything.
All right. So let's get
We
some rest,
plan
talk in the morning.
At dawn.
At dawn.
Awesome. Before we close out, one quick note. I think I mentioned to the players, but not to the audience yet. I'm going to give out some feats as milestones. This is your first one. You get the Vigilante dedication.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Finding your secret lair.
Yay.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next time.